sis and tell, a whole lot of talk, a whole lot of nothing. Amanda does stand up, Alison's on TV, and when they hop on the phone, you already know it's the place you wanna be. Sis and tell, the podcast that's so sweet. Oh, sis and tell, sis and tell, a whole lot of talk about, a whole lot of nothing. Sis and tell.
Hey, Allie.
Hey, man, what's going on?
Just living the life, living the life of COVID luxury. I don't even know what that means. That means nothing. That sounds awful.
Well, it's funny because, I've always had a home office, or at least in the past, 15 years. And so I've always worked out of my home, but I realize I don't work from my home 10 hours a day, right? I'm constantly going to meetings or having to, go on a shoot or things like that. So everything is virtual. So I've been in my house now for so long. I'm like finding distractions. And one of those distractions has been spring cleaning, even though it's not the spring and I don't like to clean. But I've been like first it started with drawers, then it started with my office. And now it is my wrapping closet. I know that sounds like a weird thing, but it's the closet has all the wrapping paper and the gifts to recycle.
A wrapping closet for me would be entirely different. I'd go in there to listen to and maybe record rap music.
Yes, you would have an actual closet where you wrap songs. I am wrapping presents, except at this point, I wrap no presents in there because it is a nightmare. I can't even walk in. So I started taking out stuff. I have been hoarding toys and gifts at least for, we'll say at least a decade. That's being generous, maybe 15 years, because there's toys in there that are appropriate for 3-year-old birthday parties. So, our youngest is 16. You do the math. Well, and I don't know what to do. I'm going to give a lot away, but I'm uncovering some treasures also.
Well, so one of the best life hacks I got from you, and it was regarding regifting, and I'm pretty sure you told me to do this, but for their birthdays, they would get so many presents when they were little. They wouldn't even pay attention, and I would take some and put them in the closet and regift it to them for Hanukkah. And it was like the best thing ever. It was the best idea, but I also still have presents from Hanukkah and birthday parties that I was going to regift them for the next gift giving season that are up in the closet. So now they've totally aged out of them.
Yeah, no, these I can regift to little kids, but I don't know a lot of people with little kids. I'm sure I will. Of course, in my head, I'm such, a planner. I'm like, well, for the grandkids, God willing, one day, I'll just keep these and I'll bring these out, because we gave away, except for the trains that we've talked about, we've given away everything that is little kid appropriate. But it also reminds me, number one, how much I don't throw away, and that I keep saying, well, what if, half of these things have no what if purpose. So I'm going to Marie Kondo the heck out of this closet. And if it does not bring me joy, or if I'm convinced it won't bring someone else joy, it's out of here. I'm just going to give it away.
I have stuff in my closet that brings me anger, right? and most of the stuff is from mommy and daddy. And I don't mean like presents they've given to me. I mean like stuff, it's just like stuff they've hoarded over the years in closets and crawl spaces. And then I turned a certain age and they started putting it in boxes and sending it to me like it was a gift. And instead of, subscribing to Harry and David, I'd subscribe to Milton and Arlene, and it was getting the boxes of stuff. I don't know what to do with it. And it's like keepsakes and report cards and my baby teeth. And I'm like, why did you keep all this stuff only for me to have to go through it? So, but it's hard because there's photographs in there. I don't know what to do with all these photographs.
So many photographs.
She sent me a bag of not margarita. Why did I say margarita? I wish she sent me a bag of margarita. I wish she sent me a
bag of margaritas. Wow.
No, Mardi Gras. She sent me a bag of Mardi Gras necklaces. And I'm like, Mommy, what were you doing all those years when you'd go down to New Orleans? And who knows about this? And so I gave it to Ruby when she was little, and a little snork figurine, stuff like that. You know what snorks are?
No.
Snorks were basically the underwater Smurfs. And it's like all stuff that like it's like it was like a little 3-inch plastic figurine, probably got it from like a Wendy's Happy Meal. But then I'm like, should I go onto eBay and sell this and pay for my kids' college? But it's worth $5. That's not worth me going to the post office and getting COVID. No.
Right.
I don't know what to do with all this stuff. So then I'm like, maybe I'll regift it to my children or just recycle it, throw it away.
Yeah, when I was in Birmingham, when we were bringing Abe down to college, we stopped there on the way for social distance lunch, and then on the way back, we stopped as a surprise, right? So we first didn't think we were going to be able to stop because we just wanted to keep going. And anyway, I felt too guilty. It was the Jewish guilt. It settled in. I had to pee anyway, so we stopped, pulled off the highway because they were 5 minutes off the highway, and we surprised them. When I tell you we were there for 12 minutes, and Mommy still managed to give me a padded envelope full of old photos. I'm like, what is this? She goes, oh, just stuff I had for you. I'm like, but you didn't know I was coming. Like, do you just keep a pile and then every time we come in, you give us one off of our pile? It must be the case. So now, and I don't know what to do with them. I'm just adding them to the other old photos. And the sad thing is she knows I'm a sucker for old photos, right? Like, I'm not, I guess I could scan them, but I also I like the feel of them. I like looking at them. And they were ones of Nana and Papa and Mimi and Grandpa. I mean, they were so cute. And of course of me. I'm a sucker for old photos of me because I like seeing me as a kid because I was so cute.
Me too. Yeah. I was so cute. Have you heard of Buy Nothing, this Facebook group? There's all over. They're in cities all over.
Like BUY?
Yeah. Buy Nothing. And the idea is you find stuff in your house. You don't want to sell it because it's a pain, right? But you will give it away. And people will post on there, hey, I'm looking for an office chair if anyone's trying to get rid of one. But you can also give stuff away. And I'm on it. Someone posted, hey, our neighbors moved out and they left all this stuff on the curb, including, a filing cabinet, an office chair, an old mattress. And they had a picture of the mattress, right? It's got stains on it. It's been raining. And as a joke, I replied and I said, oh, dibs on the dirty mattress, right? And the guy kept on responding to me being like, message me and I'll send you the address.
Oh, no.
And so then I kept on being like, all right, yeah, I totally need that dirty mattress. And then he messaged me a few days later and he's like, by the way, the mattress is still there if you want it. I'm like, what? Like, I go, look, I think my joke did not translate over Facebook. I was joking. I do not want that dirty mattress.
You don't know me very well, but that was my sarcastic texting. So
then he deleted the post. So I must have offended him. But
gosh,
who wants, I don't think anyone should be giving away a dirty mattress. It's one thing if you have the mattress in the guest bedroom that has had the cover over it that people sleep on 3 times a year that you're giving away. Right. But the mattress with the stain on it, that should go to mattress heaven or mattress hell, actually.
So I have a confession.
What?
Alan and I are in desperate need of a new mattress. And we know this. We know this from a rational standpoint, but our mattress is still very comfortable. But when I tell you how old it is, I know it is many, many, many years past the time when mattress experts tell you that you should discard a mattress. But we're so afraid that we'll get a new one and we won't like it. And
can you just flip it over? Flip it over, then it's new.
Okay. Yeah, it doesn't work.
We flip it. Pillow top?
No, it's not pillow top, and we have been flipping it for about 22 years. So I think a mattress is supposed to last 8 to 10. So I have no idea what's in that mattress. I'm afraid to think. But every so often I'm like, we really should get a new mattress. And then we sort of research it. But when we got this mattress, it's because our friends Jim and Jill had literally just purchased a mattress. And we went and kind of laid on there, said, this works. We went to the same store, purchased it, and that was it. So we're like, they did all the research. Why should we have to go through it? So now I just need to find somebody who's going to say, this is the perfect mattress. The problem with that is the perfect mattress for you may not be the perfect mattress for me. You may like soft. You may like too firm. I don't know. I don't know what I like.
There's those mattress companies now you can try out for 100 days, like Casper, and they ship it to you. But then it's vacuum sealed.
Right.
So it's tiny, and then you cut a little piece of plastic, and then it puffs up. But how do you return a mattress? I can't even get a dress back on the hanger or a bra. I can't even get a bra back on the hanger. Right? When you're trying on bras and I'm like, I got to put it on the hanger because mommy worked in retail and she would make us put everything back on the hanger. Meanwhile, I'm in the dressing room for 60 minutes and then is everything okay in there? No, I'm just trying to put this bra back on the hanger. But like, yeah, how do you get a mattress back in a box?
No, right. And that's probably
know.
the small writing right at the bottom. Returnable within 100 days if you can shove this sucker back in the box where it came, right? And nobody can do that. So you're stuck with these mail order mattresses. We went to a mattress store even, and we laid on a bunch. I will tell you the one that we really liked.
The Sleep Number.
Well,
Sleep Number?
No, the kind that goes up and down like a hospital bed, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because you
I
can watch
understand.
TV and you can read, except in order to
Lazy
get
Boy.
a king, yeah, it's a lazy boy mattress. It's more like a hospital mattress.
Is it like a $3,000 mattress to be able
I
to
don't
get
even
it?
know. I don't know how much it was. We didn't get that far because they lost me when they were like, you actually have to buy 2 twin mattresses and then you put a king sheet over it. And I'm like, well, no, like if you cuddle,
There's
who
a
gets the crack? Yeah. I was like,
Oh,
I'm not sleeping in the crack. That's not happening.
Well, I hate to one up you, Allie. I mean, I don't hate to one up you. I'm gonna one up you. I'm like an SNL character. Isn't that like a Kristen Wiig
The
character?
one
where
upper, right?
the one upper.
Yeah.
But and I may have talked about this before. And I had a mattress that was much older than 20 years because it belonged to Uncle Billy beforehand.
Oh,
I
say no
know.
more. Say no more.
I
You
know,
win.
right?
You win.
He used it for God knows how long. He put it in storage. He's like, "Hey, Amanda, do you need a mattress?" And I'm like, "Yes, I do. I need it." We wanted to upgrade from queen to a king, and he had one. And he also wasn't spending a lot of time at that house in Atlanta where the mattress came from because he had a place in New York. But still, that mattress was
Still,
old, and
yeah.
then we had it for a long time, 15 years. So plus another 20. I mean, that mattress could have been as old as me. I don't know. But we ended up getting new mattresses for the kids. It was like through Amazon because they were only $200. And I'm like, we could replace if it doesn't work out, it's only $200. I mean, I wasn't going to replace it immediately, but in a few years. And then theirs were so comfortable that we got that for ourselves.
Well, and yes,
And
the boys got new mattresses because they got new bed frames. They went from twin beds to full beds. And as you know, they all share a room still. Like the oldest is 20, but even when he comes home, they live in like this glorified dorm room. So they
Your
were.
wives are going to love you. That's going to be so cute. It's like
They'll
little
be like,
house
this is good family bonding time. Yes, you all sleep there, and all the grandkids get their own rooms. I keep talking about grandkids as if I'm like crazy neurotic. I really don't think about that on a daily basis, maybe a weekly basis, but.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
so they got new mattresses. They got the same kind. They weren't terribly expensive, and they were the pop out of the box ones, and they love them, and they're firm and not quite the like Tempur-Pedic where it's the memory foam type thing.
I
But
don't like those.
that's
You get,
sort of like that, but not the memory foam, but
yeah.
more firm than that. I don't know. We're just so married to our mattress. We just keep putting it off. It's gonna be 30 years from now. I'm gonna still be talking about this mattress that I bought in 1997.
Well, it's such a commitment, you know? It's really like you're marrying your mattress.
Well, and think about how many hours a week you spend on your mattress.
And you have different needs,
Right.
right?
I mean, let's assume we get 7 hours of sleep a night, right? That's nearly a third of our day, right? Which means a third of our life we spend on this mattress. That's a commitment, right?
So Sis and Tell listeners, this is why we're excited to announce Sis and Tell's coming out with our own mattress brand. This sounds like a big This is why we love infomercials, by the way, because we sound like an infomercial.
Right.
Like if we're super into a product, this is us, right? And we sound like we're doing a big advertisement for Casper Sleep Number, which
Well,
I
I wish I
like.
was. I wish I had said to you, and after all of this research, this is the mattress I found. But no, I've been paralyzed by the process of trying to find a new mattress, and it's terrible. So I try not to think too hard about what kind of dead skin has now residing inside my old mattress. I know.
Shudder.
I know.
Gross.
Disgusting.
This is as gross as my roach-infested coffee maker. Maybe that's grosser.
It's grosser.
It's great. And what's grosser is that we got rid of that coffee maker, and guess what? We don't have as many bugs. Horrifying.
So speaking of cleaning out closets and sort of reorganizing, I've stumbled upon a phenomenon that I'm a little concerned about. And it seems to be prevalent in our parents' generation, I will say. Not to stereotype, but I know at least 3 women around mommy's age who are doing this. And I know mommy is doing this. And it's hiding their jewelry either when they go out of town or just in general, because I think they live with a constant fear that somebody's going to break into their house and find their, and I'm putting good jewelry, right? Whatever that may constitute, right?
Which really for mommy is just costume jewelry.
Right. Well, I think she does have some fine jewelry pieces. And she's told me a couple of times, like, I've hidden my jewelry, and she's named a few spots.
She's going to murder you for talking about this on the podcast. She'll be like, Allison, now everyone knows I'm hiding jewelry. They're going to break into my house.
Well, it's not like I'm putting a treasure map online. I mean, I could. That would be. The problem is I literally have no idea where she is hiding her jewelry. And I'm not sure if I'll ever find it, right?
I know where it is.
You do? Don't say it.
Yeah.
Okay, then we can't really say where it is. But
it's not really. So Daddy, when Goldbro in its heyday, which was the retail store that was started by a great grandfather that then our grandfather and the brothers ran and Daddy ran, but they used to sell so many things, including these fake. It looked like a deodorant spray can or shaving foam, and it had a fake bottom. You'd unscrew it and you could put stuff in there, and Daddy would give that to us to hide things in, like jewelry and money. But then he scared me so much. He was like, now don't throw it away. Now don't put this in a place where someone's going to find it and shake it and think it's empty and then throw it away. And I'm like, well, I can't use it now because now I'm worried someone's going to throw away my wad of ones that I shoved in there from babysitting. Yeah. And anyways, useless hiding material. But maybe she's got that somewhere. She's hiding it in.
Well, I think more it's like hiding it in places. And so this came up because, and this happened a while ago, but I ran into a friend of mine at the grocery, and this is before COVID hit. So put all this into perspective. But, I'm like, how is everything? And she's like, it's good. But I just got back from visiting my mom, and things are not so great. I was like, is she okay? She goes, no, she's healthy. She said, but
she had her story from herself.
But she went on vacation, right? And has literally like these 4 very nice pieces of jewelry and hid them. And then after she hid them all in the same place, thought to herself, well, if I hide them all in the same place and the person is smart enough to find the hiding place, then they found everything. I should separate them, right? So she hid them in 4 separate places. And she came back from her vacation and only found 2 of the 4. So my friend said, okay, and was talking to her, and the place isn't giant, right? Maybe a condo or an apartment, and said, have you looked there? Have you checked there? Because I'm even saying, did she check, I know people sometimes put them in their, jacket pockets or things like that, where you think nobody, she goes, everywhere. She said, so I finally drove there, wherever it was, 10-hour drive. And she says, and here's what I thought was going to happen. I was going to get there, and because it's a new set of eyes, and I hadn't been looking, I would spend an hour looking, find the pieces, drive home. I was there for 3 days. She goes, we scoured the place.
3 days.
3 days and never found it. Yeah. And so she
After
said,
a day, maybe they got stolen. Maybe someone broke. Found two of the 4 hiding places. Her strategy worked.
I didn't even think about that. Right? They only found 2 of the 4 hiding places, but she's she's convinced, right? They've got to be in the house or apartment somewhere. So now she can give away and throw away nothing until these are fine. Because seriously, every time I see my friend, I'm like, how are you? Did your mom find her jewelry? And this has gotten me all paranoid about mommy and her jewelry. So I'm like, you're going to have to, unlike Daddy, who as we have discussed on previous podcasts, has what we call the binder of death, which is literally a binder which outlines everything we need to do, every code, every safety deposit box, key, and second keys, right, to do in the event that they pass. Don't start crying.
So you're worried,
but
I'm
worried
say,
that mommy has hidden
mommy's going to die and you're not going to know where her jewelry is. Is that what we're getting to?
When you put it like that, it sounds morbid and it sounds callous. And
Look,
I'm not worried about that, but she would want us to have it. So
right.
I'm afraid.
But also, we probably already do have it because she tends to buy things in 3s or 4s. For you and me and Melissa. And if she's got it, then we all have it. That's why we always have to plan what we're wearing because we're usually all matching.
Right. And I'm not talking about the costume jewelry. I'm talking about whatever fine people.
Like an heirloom.
I don't think she's hiding the jewelry that I made at Beadworks in Connecticut when I was in college, right? There's not that stuff being hidden. But the fine jewelry, and I'm sure it's in the house somewhere. Luckily, this is why it circles back to why she's giving away so much stuff, because I think if she gets rid of the clutter that she doesn't need or doesn't need to hide, it'll be an easier treasure hunt for us whenever that happens, which God willing is like not for like 30 years. But I'm just warning you, like, God forbid something happens to me and I was the only one who knew about the treasure hunt and then you didn't know to look.
So you want me to know?
Yeah, I wanted you to know.
Yeah.
And also that's a good reference point. Don't throw away any shaving cream cans that may or may not be shaving cream.
So the question is, it still leaves me at like, where are mommy and daddy keeping all these things? And I don't mean the jewelry. I meant like it's not like mommy's house is a mess. Like the way we're describing it, it sounds like you're going to walk into their house and see a pile of your artwork from the Birmingham Jewish Day School from the late 70s. And that's just not the case. Like, where are they keeping all this stuff? And I've been in the crawl space. I didn't see all this stuff. They have like random pieces of furniture and an old rug, and that's about it. I cannot comprehend where all these things are and where they're keeping them. Do they have a storage unit? Do they have a separate house that we don't know about? Does the Playhouse out back have a basement? That's what's really happening. There's a basement. There's a bomb shelter somewhere where Pepper used to bury all of his toys. And then there's where they keep all of these childhood mementos. And they're like, okay, Milton, it's time to go to the post office, send the kids a banana bread and this packet of pictures.
Right. They act like they're setting up their home to be an Airbnb, right? That they're getting rid of all the clutter and all the stuff. And speaking of that, that's why I've been sort of getting rid of the clutter, because I started watching this new Netflix show called Instant Hotel. Have you heard of this?
Are you going to turn your house into a hotel?
No, but I'm thinking, like, if I have a guest, I need to think about things that happen for, not that happen, but think about amenities. Because everyone says if you have a guest room, you should sleep in it at least one night so you know what you're missing, right? I've never slept in our guest rooms. The boys have, because when they got sick, they've slept, but they don't really care about amenities. But I'll give you an example. Like when we rented this Airbnb a few weeks ago to move in Abe, by every bedside dresser, there was one of those devices where you could just plug in your devices, right? So it was so you're not like, I'm usually like moving tables and moving behind the beds and reaching arms to try to find a plug. This made it really simple. And Alan and I both said, oh, that's just a good thing to have in general, just for, the bedrooms or the guest rooms,
right?
Things like that. So, but I started watching the show Instant Hotel, and it's about this sort of Airbnb competition in Australia. It's gotten pretty brutal because they really needed to take some lessons from that show, For Weddings, where they like grade each other. Have you seen that show? Yeah. And they can't give each other scores. They have to rate them so that they don't lowball them. These people are just lowballing each other, and it's pretty brutal. But it is reminding me of like little things I can do around the house just in case one day I just decide to turn it into an Airbnb.
Well, I'm not doing that at my house, but I appreciate you doing that at yours because I'm a frequent visitor, and I'm hoping that next time I visit, there will be a mini fridge that is fully stocked because that's what I do. I prefer tiny little bottles of tequila. Are you taking notes? It doesn't look like it. Tequila, write it down. Where's your pencil?
I do need to invest in new towels in the upstairs guest bathroom. They look like, after reading this, I'm like, ooh, these towels are rough. So I'm going to make that a priority eventually. When I ever have guests again, right? When am I going to have guests in my house? It's really just us and Levi at this point. But
right.
It's a fun thing to think about and to clean out drawers. Now Arthur has literally all of his belongings parked in one of the guest rooms because he can't even fit in his room anymore.
Just don't get any quote unquote new towels from Buy Nothing Chattanooga. That's one thing you don't want is like a used
no new towels and
towel.
No new mattress from Buy Nothing. I like that Buy Nothing though. I'm going to check that out too.
So speaking of mommy, has she ever talked to you about who, what, where? Do you know what who, what, where is?
That's what she asks me every time I tell her a story. But besides that,
what, where,
and why?
You're right. That's so funny. So it's a fashion blog site. It's like a fashion site, but they also created a brand for Target. But they always have these like fashion blogs. And first of all, mommy's always like, oh, check out who, what, where at Target. And it's true. They have really cute things. But the website upsets her so much because of the headlines that they have. it'll be like, we asked this 73-year-old what she's wearing, and or 5 things people over 43 shouldn't be wearing. They're like the weirdest things. They're the weird. And they had today, it was all these grandma trends that are coming back, and which I don't know if she would like or not, but she really is very upset about who, what, where. But so I started subscribing to their newsletter. So every time I get it, I laugh at the headlines because they're absurd.
Has she renamed it Who, What the?
Yeah, exactly. But grandma trends like the sweater sets. Remember when we used to wear sweater sets in
I
like
had
the
so
90s?
many sweater sets. I had maternity sweater sets. These things
That
you
felt
could fit
awful. Oh my
could
God.
fit
How
a
it's
whole
like
house in there. When I think about those clothes, some of the clothes I wore for my first pregnancy, oh Lordy, why didn't somebody stop me? It's when I look
this
back on my hair in college. Why didn't somebody stop me?
this is like those memes where they're like, add one word to make this movie awful, and that's like add one word to make this outfit awful, and is always going to be maternity.
Maternity. Yeah.
Maternity sweater set. That's awful.
Yeah. To
That's
this day, if I try on something, I'm like, does it make me look like I'm pregnant? Does it make me, and I'm not asking if it makes me look fat. I'm asking if it makes me look like I'm wearing a maternity outfit. Right?
We've been scarred because of the baby doll dresses that were around in the 90s.
So the last baby doll dress that I had, which was actually in the 2000s, I think I've
Yeah.
told this before.
Yeah.
And that Alan hated it and
Oh.
begged me not to wear it. And I was like, well, we're just going to have to agree to disagree. And I
I'm
worked to
gonna wear
dinner. And
Oh,
he's
no.
like, I just saw our friend Debbie. I was like, oh, good. How's she? She said, good. She wanted to know if you're expecting. I'm like, I'm going to burn this dress tonight. And that was
Did he
the
make
last
that up?
time I wore a baby doll
No.
anything.
Why would he tell you that? Either he hated that dress and he made that up, or he hated that dress and she said that and he told you. Because most husbands would not say
Either way
that.
it worked. Either way
Either
it worked.
way.
Yeah. He is unfiltered.
That-
His best line is usually when I come home from somewhere and I'll try on an outfit and he goes, who told you to buy that? Who suggested that
Your
looks
mom.
good?
Did your mom tell you to buy that?
Yeah. I do have, to this day, I still have certain dresses or jackets that I only wear when I know either I'm going to be speaking out of town or I won't see him because I don't want to hear it because I do still like it and I don't really care. If it doesn't look good on me, fine. But he's got a list. It's like his list of foods he doesn't eat, right? Which is really annoying because he's now my pickiest eater. He doesn't eat cilantro or peppers or black pepper or eggplant or cauliflower I'm like, oh my God, it's enough. Like now he's like, you cannot wear things that are too flowy, that look like baby doll dresses, that are jumpsuits, that are this, that have too much print on them, that have not enough print on them.
He has way too many
Oh
opinions.
my gosh. I'm like, this is not an a la carte menu of my outfits. And he's going to be very upset because he's like, you're going to make me sound like
Dude, you make him sound bad.
I'm a clothes dictator, which he's not. He really does it. I really do care what he thinks, and I want him to think I look good. So.
We know you care what he thinks because when you first started dating him, what did you start wearing?
I'm still embarrassed.
Oh my God, it was awful.
I started wearing green colored jeans and a bright pink or like a rose lipstick that he had picked out. Really, I think I wrote, when I started writing this column that I wrote, a humor column for about 20 years, one of the first was all about how I had to literally and figuratively look in the mirror, take a good look in the mirror and see what I had become because he turned me into this very preppy looking, housewife looking person.
And speaking of jewelry, what jewelry?
Oh, did I
piece?
have like a pearl necklace or something?
Yes,
Oh,
you did.
Lordy.
Yeah. Speaking of grandma outfits.
Oh, speaking of throwing Alan under the bus, he's never going to listen to this podcast again. I think he stopped listening to our podcast a few months ago.
That was
I think
you,
being
man.
quarantined together was enough. He didn't have to listen to me,
Can't
on a
believe
weekly
you're
basis.
taking fashion advice from your boyfriend that involved green jeans and pearls.
The green jeans was really over the top. Yeah.
It was khakis too. You were wearing like khakis.
Yeah, I've still got PTSD about that. It was
You were like
horrible.
dressed like a Blockbuster employee.
No, the one time I told you what happened, I had moved This is a true story. I had moved.
Rentals that are in this week.
No, this really happened. We had moved to Spartanburg. So when we got engaged, we moved to Spartanburg, and I had quit my job, and we were only there for 6 months, so I didn't get a new job. So I was freelance writing, and then I had a lot of time on my hands. So I was doing all of the wedding booklets and all this stuff, which I thought I was so clever and so creative. And I look back, and it was all this clip art stupid stuff, which I want to shoot myself. Oh, it was terrible clip art stuff.
I love clip art.
Oh, I was the resident clip artist. So I'm putting all this stuff together, and I'm sitting in Kinko's. Remember Kinko's, which does not exist anymore?
Oh no!
And I'm sitting at a table, and I'm compiling it. And by the time the third person came up to ask me for help, I'm like, why are people? Just because I have stuff on the desk, why they keep asking me? I look down. I am wearing a denim colored chambray shirt and khaki pants, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I look like I work at Kinko's. This is how bad it's gotten. And that was the final straw. That was it.
Oh man, I thought the Blockbuster outfit was bad, but Kinko's, that's even worse.
Kinko's took the cake.
So there's like one Blockbuster left in all the United States, and I think Airbnb bought it, and they're now offering that up as a place to stay.
I want to go stay there.
Well, hopefully they've listened to some of that advice from that show you're watching, and it's comfortable, and there's a place to plug in your phone at night when you fall asleep next to
priorities.
The week's best rentals. They have khakis and a blue polo for everyone as a parting gift.
Love it.
Thank you for listening to the latest episode of Sis and Tell. Don't forget to share us with your friends, and that was no good transition, so whatever. Who cares? It's COVID. Things are crazy.
And Alan, if you are listening to this week's episode, I really do love you and your fashion advice sometimes. As always, this has been Amanda and Alison with a whole lot of talk about a whole lot of nothing. We'll catch you next time.